Our September council meeting. I welcome each and every one of you. So at this time, we will go to our Creator for prayer. Councilor Buzzard, do you want to do the honors?
Yes, thank you. Dear Heavenly Father, as we gather here this afternoon, this evening, to do the business of the Cherokee Nation, we ask that you put your hand and give us guidance to make the best decision for our people and our citizens. We also ask you to take care of our troops that are stationed here and those that are stationed abroad. Thank you for our safe travels to our meeting, and we also ask for your thankfulness and give us safe travels to our homes tonight. And we ask all this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Shelley, you want to do roll call?
Yes, sir. Keith Austin. Here. Harley Buzzard. Here. Joe Bird.
Ani?
Julia Coates. Here. Sean Crittenden. Joe Deere. Here. Mike Dobbins. Here. Kanan Duncan.
Ani.
Rex Jordan. Here. Daryl Legg. Here. Wes Snowfire. Dora Petskowski. Here. Mike Shambaugh. Here. Mary Bakershaw. E.O. Smith.
Here.
Janice Taylor. Here. Victoria Vasquez. We have a quorum.
Okay, the minutes were mailed to you. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it. This time we will go to our State of the Nation, Principal Chief Chuck Hoskins, Jr.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is indeed an honor to be here. I was here for the special council meeting. That was my first one, but this is my first one as chief to present to the full council of the Cherokee Nation in your regular meeting, and it is a great honor to do so. I want to just briefly update you on what the administration has been working on. Just returned from Washington, D.C. We went to meet with members of the Congress to talk about the assertion of our treaty right. It is, I think, quite something to go to Washington, D.C. to assert a right under the Treaty of New Echota, our removal treaty, but to go there to assert a right that I think will benefit the Cherokee people. And this council unanimously confirmed Kim Teehee as our delegate, so it was a great honor to lead a delegation, including some council members, to the Congress to talk about that. And I will tell you that the response from members of Congress on a bipartisan basis was very encouraging. The questions posed were posed in the manner of not whether this should happen, but how it should happen and when it should happen. And so that's very encouraging. I'll continue to update the council. As I said when we announced the appointment of Ms. Teehee, it is a long journey that we need to be prepared for, but the Cherokee people have always been prepared for long journeys, and I know this council is, and I certainly am. Joe Crittenden led, as Secretary of Veterans Affairs, the Warrior Flight, which also went out last week, and I know a number of council members went with him. The sixth time we've had the honor of doing that, and anyone who spends time with our veterans knows how meaningful it is for them, first and foremost, but I think it's also very meaningful for us as Cherokee leaders to see that they are given the honor that they're due. And we do that on a month-to-month basis, certainly here at the council, but to do it on the Warrior Flight, very meaningful, and I think it sends a strong message to our people about the status of our veterans and the way that we honor them. I appreciate the council's support of the Housing, Jobs, and Sustainable Communities Act. I know that's been a point of discussion at committee even after its enactment, and I appreciate that. That is a $30 million commitment that this council has gotten behind and helped us shape so that we can make a difference in the lives of elders and community buildings for members of the community. I think it will make a huge difference in the well-being of our people, and I'll continue to work with the council so that we can fully implement that as soon as it's funded when the fiscal year begins. We announced an employee pay raise, as the council knows, and we couldn't have done the employee pay raise without the council's action of passing the budget, which the council is, of course, poised to do. And in just a couple of days, Cherokee Nation businesses will also announce an increase to its minimum wage. And so this is, as council members have told me time and time again, an investment in our people, because our people work for the Cherokee Nation and Cherokee Nation businesses. They work hard. They are so much of the reason for our success in recent years, and that success deserves to be rewarded, and it's an investment that will come back to us many, many times over.
Let's give applause for that. That's C&B, C&I, and employees. Thank you, Chief, for that initiative.
Well, I appreciate the council's support. Finally, I issued an executive order relating to our at-large brothers and sisters. As chief, I'm committed to community organizing no matter where it is. If you're a Cherokee and you live in a community and you want to make a difference for your fellow Cherokees, if you want to keep our history alive, if you want to keep our culture alive, you can do that at home and you can do that at large. It's a particular challenge at large because of the distance. We have 2 at-large council members who share that commitment, and what I pledged to them this morning is what I will repeat today. This executive order is a step, an idea in how to engage with our at-large community, but it's not the only idea. It doesn't even mean it's the best idea. It's the first step, and we certainly can evolve as we go. But the main point that I want to make to the council is that I am committed to organizing in our communities for the betterment of our people, whether it is at home or at large. And with that, Mr. Speaker, that concludes the State of the Nation. Whatever.
Thank you, Chief. Next, we'll go to our Cherokee Warrior Veterans Awards. I about got tongue-tied here. Deputy, is what I know. Secretary of Veteran Affairs. I've called him deputy for so long, it's going to be difficult to get away from that. But, that was a good move in having our Secretary of Veterans to continue to pin the medals on our veterans there. So we're going to keep that going.
Thank you, Speaker. But you didn't mention anything about a mule, so you done good, okay? We have 4 warriors to issue the Warrior Award and the Medal of Patriotism to tonight for their service to this country. I would like, this first one is the at-large. So if our 2 at-large council people would come down and help me with this presentation. And Harley, you want to help me also?
Sure, I will.
Okay.
Winnie on you, reach it.
Our first veteran tonight is James L. Locutt. James, would you come forward, sir? Mr. Locutt entered the Air Force in 1961 and was sent to Amarillo, Texas to attend Jet Fighter Tactical Maintenance School and then to Williams Air Force Base in Mesa, Arizona, where he became a jet aircraft crew chief pilot, training wing specialist. He volunteered for overseas duty and was sent to France to the 42nd Tactical Recon Squadron. He trained as a flight engineer on a B-66 bomber aircraft along with the Cold War combat-ready aircrew. He was honorably discharged an E-5 Staff Sergeant in 1965. His decorations, medals, and ribbons, he got the Air Force Good Conduct Medal. And Mr. Locutt, on behalf of a grateful nation, sir, thank you for your service to this country. Here's the ribbon. Thank you for your service to this country.
Thank you.
got family here with you that you want a picture with? I know you've got a brother here too.
Yeah, you stand up there and hat on.
So you guys want a picture together later or what? Probably. But you want the daughter down here now?
Yeah.
Well, my wife and
Sure.
Okay, you got a wife up there? All right.
Come on down.
Secretary, would he like to give remarks now or after the dinner?
Well, we have, yes, I mean, he could give remarks now, Chief, if you want, if you'd like.
All right, you want liquor?
well, I don't have very many remarks. I didn't expect anything like this and to come along. And I'm proud of the nation, the United States, and I'm especially proud to be a Cherokee. And that's it.
And as I mentioned, James has got a brother here with us, and he's our second veteran. And for this presentation, I need District 15 Council Lady Janice Taylor to come down and help. John L. Locutt, would you come forward, sir? John joined the Army in 1960 and was sent to Fort Carson, Colorado. His next duty station was in Germany, where he was assigned to the 2nd and 5th Artillery Unit. He re-enlisted for 3 years and entered the Non-Commissioned Officers Academy, where he became a heavy weapons instructor on the 175 millimeter self-propelled howitzer. He received orders and transferred to Vietnam with Company B6th Battalion, 14th Field Artillery Regiment, in the city of Pleiku, Vietnam, in the Central Highlands, along with Charlie Company, 75th Rangers, as a heavy weapons operator. After serving 2 years in Vietnam, Mr. Locutt returned to the States and was discharged honorably in 1966 as a Specialist E4. His decorations, his medals, ribbons, and badges: the Vietnam Service Medal, the Vietnam Campaign Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Army Good Conduct Medal, First Award, Sharpshooter Badge, Rifle M1, Sharpshooter Badge, Rifle M14. And Mr. Locutt, on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you, sir, for your service to this country.
Try to get everyone to scoot on this center.
Sam, that's good.
Do you want us to go as far as the center?
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Do you have to switch sides?
Let's see. Scooch a little bit further. And then, yes, he'll be in the center. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, my wife, she's walking the time.
Ethan? Ethan?
You can take pictures.
Albert, come down.
Ethan,
You think it's what?
can you help his wife come down, please?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a great honor, I really appreciate it. I think more than anything, being designated as Cherokee Ranger. Really great. And I'm proud to serve with you.
Appreciate you.
Folks, the recognition that's being given is well-deserved. I got a call a little bit earlier about these two brothers from a sister. And she wanted to watch, she wanted to come, but she couldn't for some reason. She wanted to watch it on streaming video or whatever. So being the high-tech guy I am, I walked her through how to get connected. I hope to goodness she's watching, but anyhow, we done the best we could. Our third veteran tonight is a young lady, and I need District 1 Councilman Rex Jordan to come and help, please. Her name is Christy D. Mackey. Christy, come forward, please. Miss Mackey entered the Army in 2000 and was sent to Fort Jackson, South Carolina. After she had finished advanced infantry training, she joined the ranks of the U.S. Army Finance Corps. Miss Mackey was assigned to the 18th Airborne Corps at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, serving in the 126th Finance Battalion, processing travel pay for incoming soldiers and finishing out her time in service processing soldier separation pay. Miss Mackey was honorably discharged in 2005 as an E3 Private First Class, Decorations and Medals, Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, National Defense Service Medal, the Army Service Ribbon. Miss Mackey, on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you for your service to this country.
To my husband and my two kids.
All right.
My other soldier. I drug him along.
You drug him
And then he
along?
decided to go.
I see. Yes, I do.
All right, everyone up here?
It's an honor. Thank you, council members, chief, Joe. I greatly appreciate your service.
Thank you.
And to our other veterans, thank you.
Janice, would you come and help with this one again, please, ma'am? Our fourth veteran tonight is Mr. Tommy Rayburn. Tommy, would you come forward? Harley and I got mixed up.
Okay.
This is Christie's. We must have gave the other one to the other guy.
Do I?
I say this one was the one we just awarded.
Okay.
Yeah. Mr. Tommy Rayburn entered the Army in 1966. He was sent to Texas and finished his training at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. He became a sergeant at an artillery missile school. Then Tommy went to Germany, and after 2 years he returned stateside, was chosen for Officers Candidate School, and finished school as a second lieutenant. Then he was sent to Panama Canal Jungle Ops Course. Lieutenant Rayburn transferred to Vietnam from Panama Canal in 1969 to the B Battery 5th Battalion, 42nd Artillery. While stationed in Vietnam, he was also attached to many other units, including South Vietnamese units, serving as an observer. While engaged in a firefight, he was wounded and awarded the Purple Heart. He returned stateside in 1970, where he was honorably discharged. In 1972, he enlisted in the reserves until he officially retired in 1997 as a lieutenant colonel. Decorations, medals, ribbons, badges: Purple Heart Medal, Vietnam Campaign Medal with 60 device, Bronze Star Medal with V device, Army Good Conduct Medal, First Award, Expert Marksman Badge M14, Vietnam Service Medal, Army Commendation Medal, Meritorious Unit Commendation Medal, 2 overseas bars, National Defense Service Medal. On behalf of a grateful nation, Mr. Rayburn, thank you for your long and great career that you had for serving this country.
Family?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Cherokee Nation, and especially thank you for the Veteran Center.
Thank you. Speaker, that's all I have, but I would like to say that the Warrior flight was great. We had a safe trip there, a safe trip back. Some of them saw those monuments and things for the first time, or the city itself. It's quite a sight if you've never been there before. And I want to thank the chief. I want to thank the council for the support, for the Marshal Service for watching over us. Most of all, I want to thank God for his blessings. Thank you.
Our Secretary of Veterans Affairs here just accompanied the Warriors there. How many did we have going to Washington, D.C.? 10. And he just returned and had some volunteers. And, you know, it's a good trip. I always hear nothing but good stories. And it's such a privilege to honor our veterans, at least for the...
Her staff and crew was great. I mean,
Yes.
they made it happen.
Every council meeting, we go over our tribal members that are not with us anymore. At this time, we're going to turn it back to our principal chief to go over those names.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will list the names of those that we recently lost. The mother of former Principal Chief Bill John Baker, Dr. Isabel Baker, former member of the Council of the Cherokee Nation and Treasurer Gary Chapman, Roger Armour of Salisaw, Keith Bozell of Muskogee, Kay Calicote of Tulsa, Barbara Chastain of Grove, Leon Dick of Veneta, Tanya Duncan of Collinsville, George Ebbs of Nowata, Betty Gonzalez of Tahlequah, Nathaniel Hummingbird of Stillwell, Allison James of Pryor, Jerry Lane of Grove, Dorothy Lyles of Stillwell, Janice Lynch of Nowata, Billy Marin of Jay, Jack McCabe of Veneta, Cole Mitchell of Hulbert, Louis Mouse of Pryor, Don New of San Jose, California, Patty Parman of Tulsa, David Phillips of Tahlequah, Stephen Powers of Wagner, Alexander Reeder of Claremore, Michael Reeder of Claremore, Dickie Sam of Stillwell, Lydia Sawney of Stillwell, Stephanie Smith of Vian, Janetta Walton of Salisaw, Jimmy Watkins of Pryor. And Mr. Speaker, if councilors have any others to name.
I do.
Connie Wright and Wanda Elliott, both of Claremore.
George Carmen, Fort Gibson. Dolores Wood, Stillwell.
Wesley Gertie, Togwell.
I have Merle Stand and William Sellers, Stillwell.
Judith Raylan Foster, Oshaleta.
All right, moment of silence, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chief. Before we have action, unfinished business, there's a special person I want to read his bio real quick and just recognize him. From 1969 to 89, he was Tahlequah police officer, began as patrolman, retired assistant chief of police. 1989 to 05, Tahlequah chief of police, 4 elected terms. 05 to 2020, sheriff of Cherokee County, 4 elected terms. Oklahoma Sheriff's Association Sheriff's Hall of Fame inducted August 2017. Longest serving Tahlequah PD Chief of Police, longest serving Cherokee County Sheriff. A friend to everyone. He's when you go to a fundraiser for any event, pie supper, Little League ball game, you will see this gentleman there. Tribal member, let's give applause to Mr. Norman Fisher. This is made by one of our national treasures here. It's the seal of the Cherokee Nation. We appreciate it. Well, you got any words to say to our audience here?
I'd like to say thank you to Cherokee Nation, because I know what a big help they've been to us down at the Sheriff's Department. It's get into good equipment, good employees, and everything run, I hope, like it should be run. You know, I don't like to talk in front of a crowd. Never did. Lord and behold, I go out there and get into politics. So that went down great. But I'd like to say thank you, and you've been a big help to us, and we do appreciate it, and we're there if you need us. And I got my wife.
Got your family? You got your family want to come out here and get in a photo op?
And I got a bunch of employees, next employees back up here.
Well, we can line them up here.
Just go ahead.
Okay. Good?
We can get you all on the set too. There we go.
Give us a 3 count.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Look here. Excellent.
Sometimes we don't give enough credit to those people who go and defend us day by day there, and we really appreciate all that Norm has done. So dropping down to committee reports, we have our CEO of C&B here, Mr. Chuck Garrett. I always feel financial secure when Chuck's in the audience.
I'm pleased to hear that. Well, thank you guys very much, and thank you, Speaker, for the introduction. I'd like to start my comments, if I may, this evening just with an acknowledgement and a thank you to Sean Slayton, who is my predecessor, and I think you all had many years of working with Sean, great mentor for me, and great source of education in our businesses. And I see Jerry Holderby in the crowd, and of course, former CEO. So it's very good to join their ranks and be a part of this tradition. This evening, I believe the June financial package has already been distributed, and the details have been provided to you. But I did want to add on the financial end of things that in addition to the legislative dividend that we did, we were able to provide additional financial support to the tribe in the tune of $386,000 for retail sales tax, as well as liquor excise tax of roughly $25,000 for a total non-dividend financial contribution of $412,000. Regarding the job statistics, currently we have 7,526 employees at CNB, and of those 7,500 employees, we're able to exercise preference on 4,534 of these positions. Of those positions, we currently have 70% Cherokee utilization, with another 6.4% from other tribal nations. So collectively, there's a total Native workforce of 76.4% Native employment. A few announcements to make this evening as well, and I'll say first that we're looking forward to having you all. I don't know quite who all is going to make it in the morning, but we have a council orientation at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino tomorrow, so we're looking forward to hosting you, and hope that all of you can make it. We have a nice morning planned. Hopefully it'll be very informative, and then you know, everybody gets fed and watered and everything. So we're excited to have you all. Since our last meeting, we've reopened the Fort Gibson casino after almost 100 days of closure. Of course, a historic flooding. We're just, you know, very thankful to our employees and to the community, and so much pain and suffering when, you know, was experienced in that community. So it makes my heart full to welcome our employees back. On a happier note, I can also share with you that we're celebrating our 10th anniversary at the Hard Rock as a Hard Rock, and so it's been a lot of fun, and we've had several little events and good publicity. It was a good decision, you know, when you look back in time and you think about the decision to brand the hotel and casino as a Hard Rock. That, I'm told, was not necessarily without some degree of debate. And you can understand why. We're all proud of the Cherokee brand, and we certainly look to the other 9 properties that we own and operate as advancing that brand and our identity. But when we got into a market with multiple major competitors, it really did, I think, make a difference and turned us into the market leader. And of course, we all get to enjoy those benefits in terms of dividends and other advantages. So it's been a decision that I think has turned out in hindsight to be a very strong decision. Also, just wanted to mention that we hosted a job fair last week at the Hard Rock. 94 people attended, 50 positions were filled at the end of the day. So again, you know, our effort at recruiting Cherokees and others at our casinos. It's a difficult time. You know, it's a very tight labor market. I was at a conference just the other day, a small roundtable of management executives, and to the person, workforce was the #1 issue. And so despite some really aggressive efforts at recruiting, we still have a lot of positions available. We'll go through a little bit more of that tomorrow at our orientation, and hopefully we can continue to make some progress. C&B was proud to partner again with the Tulsa Area United Way on their annual Day of Caring. We had 49 volunteers that took their time to put towards this big day. So far in 2019, C&B employees have volunteered nearly 2,000 hours at different charitable organizations. And I think it is a tribute to our employees and the kind of passion and commitment they have to their communities, and we're very proud of that. Also pleased to announce that the American Quarter Horses have returned to Cherokee Casino's Will Rogers Downs in Claremore. The fall racing schedule features 28 races running September 7th through November 9th. Lastly, Cherokee Nation hosted a ribbon-cutting ceremony celebrating the opening of the Cherokee Nation History Museum. I know that was a big event and something that we're all proud of, and those of us at C&B are very proud to have been able to provide some financial assistance in that effort. It's certainly something that we all, as a nation, can be proud of. Be happy to try and answer any questions that you may have. That concludes my report, Mr. Speaker.
A good report. Any questions for our CEO? Did you give a brief report on Russellville?
I would. I'd be happy to do that. I'll be traveling there on Wednesday morning with meetings with some of the elected officials Wednesday and Thursday. We are currently within a 90-day application window that was established by the Arkansas Racing Commission. We're into, I think, day 61 or so. We have, as you all know, received the exclusive endorsement of the county legislative body. That's a required endorsement in order to obtain the license, and so we're very proud of that. That was, you know, hard-earned and I think well-earned. We opened an office storefront there on Main Street last week in Russellville. That's an opportunity for people to come in, learn more about the project, learn more about the Cherokee Nation businesses, as well as express their interest in potential employment opportunities. So it's a big presence there in the community and been very well received. We expect to continue lobbying the elected officials and learning in the community, talking to the community, understanding what their preferences are, and trying to translate that into an absolutely world-class venue there. And I feel very confident our team is focused and has the right approach.
Okay, anybody else? Appreciate that support.
Okay, thanks, Speaker.
Thank you very much. Drop down to old business, none pending. Out of resource, resolution 19-049. Councilor Shaw, would you please take that?
Yes, I will. Thank you. It's a resolution opposing a change to federal regulations to allow non-Indians to possess and use eagle feathers for religious purposes, and I make a motion for its passage.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, I would like to be added as a sponsor, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
You have that, Shelley? Okay, anybody else? I think we're pretty unanimous on that one there. Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it. Councilor Vasquez, would you take number 2?
Yes, out of Rules Committee, a resolution electing Janice Taylor to the office of Secretary of the Tribal Council, and I move for its approval.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the ayes have it. Number 3, Councilor Duncan, would you take that?
Yes, this is a resolution confirming the appointment of Lena Carson as a board member of Cherokee Nation Businesses. And before I ask for that to be motion to approval, I would like to make one amendment, small minor amendment to the date of her term from August to August. Needs to be changed from September to September 2019 to September 2022.
Okay, Shelley, is that noted?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I make a motion for that, for its approval.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in
Yes.
favor? Yes.
Yeah, I had a quick question. Ms. Carson, I see that you're in attendance tonight, and I appreciate you for showing up. Last month, I know Councilor Shaw had asked you about 8A contracting. You've had some time to kind of do a little homework on that. Did you get a chance to tell us a little bit this evening about what 8A contracting is?
To be honest, I have not done any research on it. I was waiting to confirm. I didn't want to take any assumptions on that, but I plan to work very hard and get up to speed with everything as soon as possible.
Okay, great, appreciate it. That just kind of a quick rundown. That's just kind of the essential of how we as the tribe get funded through CNB. It's a very important role, and kind of the lack of understanding of something that essential to our businesses. For that, I'm going to have to vote no on this.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Yes, Councilor Critton?
Just add it as a sponsor, please.
Okay. All right, any more questions? Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
You have one. Okay. Number 4, Councilor Shambaugh, would you please take that?
This is a resolution confirming the appointment of Linda O'Leary as a member of the Cherokee Nation Gaming Commission. I put that in form of a motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Speaker Byrd, I would like to make a motion to make the same amendment on this resolution to change the term period from August to September.
Okay. Shelley, you got that noted?
Yes, is that as a friendly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. All right. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it. Number 5, Councilor Legg, would you take that?
Resolution. This one. A resolution authorizing Cherokee Nation to become a member of the National Congress of American Indians and to appoint a tribal delegate and alternates.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it. Number 6, Councilor Taylor.
This is an act authorizing and approving the fiscal year 2020 capital appropriations budget and declaring an emergency. I put that in the form of a motion.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Number 7, Councilor Deere, you want to take that?
This is an act authorizing and approving the fiscal year 2020 operating budget and declaring an emergency. Put that in form of motion.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it. Okay, number 8, Councilor Austin, you want to take that?
This is an act amending Legislative Act 21-18 authorizing the comprehensive capital budget for fiscal year 2019 modified and declaring an emergency. I put that in form of a motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, the ayes have it. Number 9, Councilor Taylor, you want to finish that?
I would. This is an act amending Legislative Act 22-18, authorizing the comprehensive operating budget for fiscal year 2019, Mod 11A, and declaring an emergency, and I put that in the form of a motion.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Need a motion to amend?
So moved.
Got a motion to amend to add item number 10. Got a second? Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Number 10, Councilor Dobbins, you want to take that?
It's a resolution authorizing the submission of a request to the Indian Health Services to participate in the 2019 Joint Venture Construction Program Agreement for renovations and operations of the Tahlequah Hospital and clinics. Put that in the form of a motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
And a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That concludes our items. So at this time, to my right, do you have any announcements? Yes. Councilor Coates?
Yeah, I just wanted to announce for Cherokee Nation citizens who are in Texas that this weekend we have community meetings in Houston on Saturday and in New Braunfels on Sunday. The mailing for this has gone out late, so this is why I want you to hopefully be watching this and to look online for more information about both of those meetings. Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, Councilor Dobbins?
Yes, I have a community meeting at Muskogee Three Rivers Clinic on October the 7th at 5 o'clock.
Okay. Anybody else over here? To my left? Yes, Councilor Vasquez?
Yes, I have a District 11 community meeting at South Coffeyville this Thursday evening at 6 p.m., 215 Oklahoma Street. We're going to be introducing our new chief to this group, and they will be very excited. It's the Native American Fellowship, Inc. All are invited if you can make it. Thank you.
Yes, anybody else? Yes, Dora?
Yes, Thursday, October 3rd, Washington County Cherokee Association will have an open house for their new community building, and I believe that Chief plans to be there, so I just want everybody to know you're invited.
Okay, anybody else? Yes, just like to thank Jerry Holderby and Sean Shepard, our board members of CMB, being here, and former council member Kurt Snell. Always good to see him. Kurt, yes.
I thought that was your bodyguard.
Yes, we have council member Jeff Wakachi from the UKB. Welcome, Jeff. Good to have you here. He's a good bowler. Don't take him up on bowling. That guy can bowl. We saw that at Tri-Council. No, I'd like to, for the crowd here to know that we really have a good staff in the council office. You know, we have Gail Miller, Jennifer Kirk, we have Tim Brown, we have Shelley Britton, and is that it?
Jody Reese.
Jody Reese, our Chief Financial Officer. He's not here today, so it's easy to forget him. If you're not here, we don't talk about you, man. But that is a good staff that we have. So with that, I'd entertain a motion. Agiosi. So moved. Got a motion and second. We are adjourned.